Okay, I'm going to do a couple more from the notes real quick, and I might come back and fill in the rest of them, but you can see the answer keys to all of the rest of the notes on Edmodo. But let's first look real quick at number 5. I just wanted to show you kind of how that would work. So it says that we have a hyperbola with foci at 0, 12, and 0, negative 12, which would be like along the y-axis. And so if that's where the foci is, then that automatically tells me that it's vertical. So that tells me that it's going to be y squared minus x squared because it's vertical. I also know that the center is at 0, 0 because that's halfway in between these 2 points that it told me. It said that at the endpoints of the conjugate axis are negative 5 and 5. Okay, so because of that, I know that B is 5, and I know that C is 12. Okay, if I use that information in C equals the square root of a squared plus b squared. If you solve that, and I'm not going to show all those steps, but if you solve that, then you get a squared equals 119. So that tells me that this is 119 and that this is 25. Okay, so that you do need to be able to write an equation when you're given information, and so that's one for maybe you to try. Let's look at number 8 for a second. You're designing a new logo for a gym floor. The pattern is modeled by this equation. The athletic director loves the design except for one thing. He would like the transverse axis to be 6 units tall. Rewrite the new equation of the logo. So if the transverse axis is going to be 6 units tall, that means right now the transverse, let's see, this B is 2. So right now it's 4 units tall. Okay, so if I want it to be 6 units tall, then I need B to be 3. So if B is going to be 3, then B, I'm sorry, all of that should have been A, not B. A is 2. We want A to be 3. So that means that A squared is going to be 9. So this entire equation would be the same, except instead of a 4, I would put a 9. So maybe that's something that, see if you can, if you would have been able to figure that out. The last one I want to show you just real quick is number 11, and that is one of the ones where we have to change from general form to standard form. So let's do that together and then go from there. So first, let's get everything with like terms together. Okay, so I put the y's together, I put the x's together, and now we need to factor some things out. Oops, I left out, that should be a 90. Okay, so here I'm going to factor out a 9. So I have x squared minus 10x. Okay, here I'm going to subtract out a negative 16. So that gives y squared minus 6x, I'm sorry, 6y equals 63. Okay, so hopefully you're with me so far. So I grouped the x's, grouped the y's, and then I factored out. And I factored out a negative 16 because I know this is going to be a hyperbola, it's going to be negative. So the next thing I'm going to do is take the 10, divide by 2 and squared, which is 25. Okay, however, I'm adding 25 though 9 times. So I'm really adding 225. Okay. The 16, the 6 divided by 2 squared is 9. But 9 times negative 16 is negative 144. Okay. Now if I continue on, 9x minus 5 squared minus 16 y minus 3 squared equals, now I have 63 plus 225 minus 144. And that equals 144. So I just summed all that together. I now need to divide everything by 144. Okay, remember what I told you, that if it doesn't equal equation that reduces to 1 over something, like this reduces to 1 over 16, and then the other one reduces to 1 over 9. If it doesn't reduce, then you've done something wrong. Okay, so I can tell by this that I'm going to have a horizontal ellipse, because x is first, and I know that a is 4 and b is 3, and the center is at 5, 3. Okay, and then you could graph and answer the rest of those questions. You could find the foci, etc., etc. So I just wanted to give y'all an example of that, so you have one example to go on. Okay.